The pound for pound list. What does this word even mean? How is it defined? Who is the current pound for pound number one? In my opinion on Dana White's comments as well, all in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Guys, before we begin, don't forget to check out bloodshop.net, my merch, worldwide free shipping with the code FREE. Check it out, link in bio. So Dana White came out and said in the post-fight press conference to UFC 302, where Islam submitted Dustin Poirier via Darce choke in the 5th round, that Jon Jones, in his opinion, is still the current pound for pound number one. And you might think, huh? The UFC has a pound for pound list and Islam is number one there. If Dana does not agree with that, then why is the list not according to his opinion, because it's his company, right? Well, first of all, the pound for pound list gets done by the media. I will never understand why or how that really works, how they do that, the media, who is qualified from the media people. I have no idea. I will never understand it. It should, in my opinion, be the UFC themselves that do it, but it's the media that does that list. And Islam Makhachev is the current pound for pound number one fighter. And I said this since that got announced, since Islam was the pound for pound, also Volk was the pound for pound number one. I always said this. They are not the pound for pound number one fighter. As long as you have Jon freaking Jones out there, who literally has never lost a fight in his professional career, and yes, I agree, you can argue about his Thiago Santos fight. You can argue about his Dominic Reyes fight. They were close fights, but he won them. You can, if you make that argument, you can also say, hey, Volkanovski against Islam was also razor thin. Also there, a lot of people thought that Islam lost. So don't come with me with that argument to say why Islam is a pound for pound number one fighter. It just doesn't make any sense.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers!
You have a guy who got knocked out flat a long time ago, yes, but he got knocked out flat in UFC, whilst you have another guy who literally has more title fights probably than Islam has UFC fights, who's on a forever winning streak, who never lost a fight in his professional career. At least, well, on paper you could say he lost a fight where he literally beat a guy into oblivion and he got disqualified for illegal shots.
That's fucking illegal.
You have a guy that defended his light heavyweight championship against the top of the top, against all the big names so many times, who went up a division then to fight at heavyweight, the biggest weight gap in the whole UFC. It's not 155 to 170, 15 pounds, or 145, 155, which is 10 pounds. He went up a weight division that goes from 205, which is his former weight division, to 265. 60-pound weight gap. You get what I'm saying? He's fighting guys that are potentially 60 pounds heavier than the guys he fought before. The biggest gap you can do, and he went out there and literally submitted the number one contender inside of 1 minute or something. You have to imagine that. You're telling that guy that he's not the current pound for pound number one fighter? Are you out of your mind? Why? Because he had some layoff? How does a layoff affect the fact that you are the best fighter that exists in the world at the moment? I mean, if you would have a layoff and come back and lose a fight, yeah, of course. But he literally had a layoff, came back and submitted the guy inside a minute. What are you talking about? Are you insane? Islam Makhachev literally just took 5 rounds to submit a win-loss guy. You get what I'm saying? That's 35 years old. And you're trying to tell me, with all due respect, hey, Islam is a phenomenal fighter. He's the number 1, 2 pound for pound in my opinion for sure. But you're trying to tell me this guy should be ranked higher in the pound for pound list than a guy who barely ever seen his own blood in a fight, who literally, as I said, in his last win just submitted a guy inside no time at all. Like, come on, guys. Make it make sense. And to the point now, what does pound for pound even mean? Pound for pound means, and I have to get a little bit deeper here,
very deep,
that you really understand it, because it's a definition that makes sense and also doesn't make sense. So the official definition is pound for pound means, if I'm, for example, a heavyweight now and I'm the heavyweight champion and I will be the pound for pound number one guy, that would mean that hypothetically with my skill set and everything, if I would be a lightweight, I would beat Islam. If I would be a middleweight, I would beat Dricus du Plessis. You know what I mean? That just means that you are, no matter of the weight class, the best fighter in the world. And obviously, why I say this definition has kind of holes in it, you cannot really measure that. You cannot say, hey, I don't know, Alexandre Pantoja is the flyweight champion. If Alexandre Pantoja would be a heavyweight, he would lose or win against Jon Jones. It just, it cannot make it make sense, because, you know what I mean? It's a flyweight. Like, you have no idea how he would look if he would be a heavyweight. He would be a different human being. You get what I'm saying? But overall, it just means who is the best current fighter. And obviously, you measure that by his recent fights and achievements. You measure that of how did his last 10 fights look? How dominant did he win? How easy were the fights for him? How many fights did he win back to back? What kind of a win streak is he on? All those things, right? And it doesn't matter if you were in a 15-fight win streak, but now you're in a 5-fight losing streak. You are not, you can't be up there in the pound for pounders, because you literally just got beaten several times. You get what I'm saying? So a guy who has never got, like, who never lost, is unarguably the pound for pound number one. Of course, as long as he's also a champion like Jon Jones, of course. A guy who's, I don't know, Ian Gary, who never lost officially yet, can't be the pound for pound number one because he never really achieved anything. You get what I'm saying? So this is my opinion. Dana White is completely right. I always said this. I always said Islam, Volk, they're both not the pound for pound number one guys. I respect them with everything I have. They're phenomenal fighters. If Jon Jones would not be here, they would definitely be pound for pound number one, but they are not. Well, Volk, definitely not anymore, but you get what I'm saying. He used to be. So this is my opinion, right? Your opinion in the comments, guys. Who do you think is the current pound for pound number one? What is your opinion on the whole media is doing it, blah, blah, this and that? Your whole opinion on pound for pound, write in the comments. Like this video, guys. Subscribe to the channel, would appreciate that. Check out the Bloodsport merch, bloodshop.net. Stay bloody, guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.